Hey everybody, hope you're having a fantastic day. This is the Best Family Reviews weekly Amazon Influencer Program update. This is for week 10 for me and week 6 for Catherine. That is how many weeks we've been influencers on-site commissions for the Amazon Influencer Program. We're not going to beat around the bush. We're going to jump right into it with the preface of Catherine has not seen her stats for this week.
Or had any sleep.
Or has had any sleep because we have an 18-month-old baby who doesn't let mom sleep very much. So that being said, if you want to see any of the past videos, go check them out to see, put in a little bit more context of where we're at today. But really, we want to get into the details really quickly, and then we can talk and assess what happened, how we're going to improve, and what we're going to do going forward.
And in the past videos, we've talked about how we got started, what we do reviews on, how our storefronts are, the differences between our stores, so you can kind of answer all those, questions that you might have in the older videos.
Yep, and remember, this is a side hustle, so the weeks are going to vary from week to week, and this week is no different. So let's jump right into it.
Well, and just for clarification, on this YouTube channel, we group both of our reviews, but we each have separate creator hubs on Amazon. And so Gabriel has his store, I have my store. They're lumped together on YouTube, but yes, these are individual stores for each of us.
So it used to be kind of a he versus her type of thing, but really we live in the same household, so we both share the benefits of it. And Catherine.
Well, it's still a competition.
Sure, it's
still
a competition.
He versus
it's
her
no longer
competition.
It's no longer a competition when I'm losing and getting smacked down every week. But let's start. So day number 1, we're gonna go one by one for each week. So day number 1 of last week, I had 42 clicks and $2.28. And I want to point out, look at above. That's basically every Sunday. Day 1 is on Sunday, or is it Monday? I think it's Monday. Of each month, and you can see...
It should be Sunday.
Sunday. You can see that 42 clicks is a far cry from the 2 weeks before, or even a week before when I had 146.
So you're back 9, 8, 7. So you did worse than you did back on week 7.
Yeah, I'm back to like week 6 when I only had 50 total videos. And we'll talk about how many I have now. So this goes on. If you watched last week, we had what we called the cliff, or the click cliff. I am now calling it Click-mageddon because it's all across the board. Everyone's experiencing this huge decrease in sales and clicks. And we have a few different theories, but it's not just us, it's everybody. So I had $2.28. Catherine, you had?
65 clicks and $11.35.
Yeah. So doing much better than I, and we'll get into how many videos we posted in just a minute. So day 2, which we'll fix the dates for next week. This is all real time. We're just going with it. We're going for minimalist editing, but I had 32 clicks on day 2 with $8.
69 clicks, also $8, but 92 cents.
Yep, almost $9. Okay, day number 3. I had 34 clicks and $6.18.
72 clicks, $8.18. So you are far and wide beating me in terms of what would it be, profit per click? Mm-hmm. And I'm not doing so hot.
Well, let's see how the week finishes out, shall we? Because the next day I had 36 clicks and negative 63 cents. So that means I had some returns.
With the inverse numbers. Mm-hmm. 65 clicks, again with the inverse numbers. Well, these are not inverse numbers. $6.58.
Yeah. And day number 5, I had 44 clicks and $10.28. So I'm coming back. I'm rallying.
I had 60 clicks and an abysmal 29 cents.
So Catherine's finally getting some returns.
Were there returns? Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we'll talk about your returns in just a second. I'll add that column. We're companies going. If there's anything you'd like to see, let us know too. Next day I had 26 clicks and negative $2.28.
42 clicks and $1.28.
And the last day of the week, I had 44 clicks and $4.75. So it seems like the cliff was kind of dropped down to a new level, and it's kind of sticking there. I'll give you my theory in just a moment. But Catherine, what was your last day?
70 clicks and $3.71. So it almost feels, I get that Amazon's rearranging stuff and testing it out, but it almost seems like they're trying to discourage people.
Well, it may be discouraging people, but I have a couple different theories. One, that they're testing things out, but also, okay, I have a theory that September is a historically bad month, and this is anecdotal, but Catherine and I both have a really close friend that's in the t-shirt business, and we were chatting with them about how during the slow months of the year, they're freaking out because they're like, I don't know how we're going to support our family. We're not making enough money to live off of, and then they make it all up during the holiday season, and that covers the whole rest of the year.
Actually, fall is their best season. So right now is their busiest season.
In September. Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah.
So I wonder if for next week if we couldn't find, make sure you're near the microphone.
Oh yes, this fancy lapel microphone.
Yeah, we added a lapel. This is a huge investment in our streaming. I'm not going to say how much it cost because it's very little, but I'll put a link in the description because it did cost very little.
But it's so fancy.
It's super fancy. We can just talk into my shoulder. Hey, but listen. So I am interested maybe for next week's review to find out how Amazon sales are going in general. Because something is happening. It's across the board. All the influencers have noticed it. I think about like Uber and eBay or any of these businesses that have an incentive for like kind of entrepreneurs to come in and actually build up the bulk of that business. How initially they'll pay a lot more, and then as they get a whole bunch of people to do that, like maybe right now they're getting a huge influx of influencers, and they're realizing we don't have to give them as many commissions. And so I don't know. I'm very curious to see how it goes. It's a bummer. It's not as awesome as we had thought it would be, but maybe it'll get better. So speaking of that, as far as new videos go and how many videos we had for the week, I only added 3 videos this week for a total of 80 videos that money was based off of, and Catherine added
24 videos for 114.
114. So one of our goals was to break that 100 video barrier, and Catherine was able to do that. So congrats to you. And total clicks for the week off of those 80 and 100 videos. I had 258 clicks, so way lower than even my August 27th clicks. I've been hurting on the clicks. And you had
443.
443. So I'm just going to unhighlight everything else and show you our conversion rate. Oops. Okay, so it says my conversion rate was 28.58. It wasn't.
That's money.
That was my earnings. I think it was 16%. I will update that in post. Mine was 16%. Catherine was almost 12%. So still really good conversion rate. My total earnings for the week was $28.58, which is kind of depressing. Way below what I was 4 or 5 weeks ago. And Catherine, your total earnings were?
The lowest they've ever been, including the first week I started.
Yep. So her lowest earnings ever, $41.50, puts me at a total of $471. For the duration of my 10 weeks. And for 5 weeks, Catherine has made, or is it 6 weeks?
6.
6 weeks, Catherine has made a total of
$403.94.
Okay, so the question is, we are not making as much off of the same videos as we were a while ago. It could be that the influencing atmosphere world is getting more saturated. It could be that Amazon's changing the algorithm. It could be that it's just a slow part of the year for Amazon sales. But the big question is, do we keep doing this? No, you're done? Catherine says she's done. Here's the funny thing is you've already got 114 videos in the queue. If things pick up back the way they were, would that make you want to start going again?
So I probably will continue to do it. The thing is, we're kind of in a flux in our personal lives right now, so I don't know that I've kind of reached my capacity at this point in terms of like this upward trajectory. So I feel like if things will continue to be like at this tier of like, I mean, $50 a week is not nothing. Yeah. So it's a couple $100 a month. I mean, that definitely would pay for some fun activities. And again, that would be just continuing where we're at. What would be interesting to know is if you're not consistently uploading videos, does Amazon feature your reviews? Like if there's a carousel that has so many reviews, do they, is there some sort of like limit? Like, do they say, well, these people aren't participating in the program consistently, they're not adding stuff to their new storefront, so do we show their videos? Like, there's got to be algorithms where they do that. It's like YouTube. Like, if you post videos on YouTube, they show your videos more. That's a known algorithm. If you don't use YouTube, then they don't show your videos.
Yep, it's true. And like I've noticed that in my YouTube channels, they'll take a dip, but then as soon as I start posting again, they're like, hey, this person's active again.
Yeah, so does Amazon employ that? Do they do things like that?
Yep, so I'm interested. Part of me says, man, I don't even know if I wanted to record this update this week because we're not doing better. We're doing worse. We're putting more effort in and getting less back from it.
The ROI is not there.
It's decreased, right? And part of me is like, usually on YouTube, people want to hear like, this is great, this is free money, blah, blah, blah. But, and this is an experiment for us. But maybe part of that experiment is showing the good and the bad. So I'll tell you some of the things. I think there's a lot of things we can do, and I want to give some shout outs to some other people that have helped us. I'll post a link there. Reviewers of cool stuff, and then there's somebody else I've been watching called Masters of Marketplace, and she's been doing this for a couple years and talking about some things you can do to refresh or look at your statistics to kind of min-max kind of the whole thing. Sounds like a lot of work too, but there's some things we want to try. Our YouTube channel, this YouTube channel is growing by about 80 to 100 subscribers a month right now, just after a couple months. And we're posting all of those associate links on there as well. So we're starting to see more and more clicks. I don't know what will come out of that. And then we're also getting contacted by more and more Amazon sellers who want us to review their products as well. So the opportunities are continuing to come in. Maybe it becomes less lucrative on Amazon and more lucrative off Amazon. I don't know.
Well, you mentioned, what is it, Marketplace?
Masters of Marketplace.
Masters of Marketplace. And then you said it does require more work. Like, the truth is there's no such thing as a free lunch.
Yep.
Like, nothing in life is free. Like, this may be a great program to earn money. But keep in mind, like, the amount that you're selling, like, you don't have it on this thing, but you're selling $20,000 worth of product to Amazon for, I mean, what's the return on that? Yeah, sold revenue is $1,000 and you come out with $28. So, you're already getting a small portion of that, because the amount that you're putting in to do a review and have it just sit there and multiply over time. So take that into consideration when you're talking about how much work you're willing to put into it. It's not free. You have to put in effort to get something out of it. It's how much effort are you willing to put in for how much you're willing to get out. Now, some of that is out of your control when it comes to Amazon testing, Amazon taking stuff out, other people coming in and doing videos, and then you've got to get yours ahead of the pack somehow. So there's just lots of things to take into consideration, but to say that something's more work, and just to point out that when we say it's more work, it's like you have to decide how much you want to put into it.
Well, even people, you'll see these gurus online and they'll say things like, all you have to do is make a 1 to 2 minute video. Not true. Time is value, time is money, and you have to research that thing. You have to prepare to do the video. You have to set up lights. You have to buy a $10 microphone. I mean,
well, you have to have the product to begin with. I mean, you can't do a review on a product you don't have. And by the way, we have seen people do reviews on products they don't have using CG or videos online, and they all get removed. So you have to have the product. You have to be able to show it off. You have to have a review of it. You can't do a review of some information you've read online about it.
It truly is. It's a small hobby business. So you have to treat it like a job. You can't. It's not something you just not do. Look at me. I only added a total of 3 videos last week because I didn't have the time, whereas Catherine was able to add 24. She now has about 20% more videos total than I do, and so you can expect to see a 20% increase on her profit because she's treating it like a job and going forward and putting that extra work into it. So it's one of those things, if you're not consistently adding, not only do you run the risk of maybe the algorithms don't favor you as much, but also other people are adding videos as well. So it's something you can't just, it's not completely passive. It's not something you can set and forget.
I don't know. I was just thinking, like, I think it is really important, like, to not understate, like, the amount of work that it does take. Like listing it off really quick. Number 1, you have to buy the product, have the product on hand. Number 2, you have to use the product. I mean, you have to test it out. If you don't, then you're disingenuous, and over time, you might be able to get away with that a couple times, but over time that will continue to show through your videos. And I'm sure viewers know, like, you've watched a video before where you're like, this person hasn't really used this. Or, like, I just watched a video for a product and the woman was like, I really hope this works, and I really like the idea of whether it works or not. And then that was the video. And I was like, okay, that did not help me at all. That is not what I wanted to know. So have the product, use the product, record the product in the video, edit the video, thumbnail, title, and then you have to go back and look, like, why isn't this one getting views? What other video, the comparison, the analysis, the
research, yeah.
The continued, like, analytical, feedback.
Yeah, you have to be agile. You have to be willing to make changes when the system changes around you.
Yeah, so ask yourself, like, if I have a video that isn't performing it well, do I just leave it? Do I re-record it? Do I try and make money off of this, or do I say I'm going to give this one up?
Yep. Okay, that's it for today. Everyone have a fantastic week. We'll see you next week.